February the 13th, 2021. As you're looking at the National Weather Service map, and it's one of the largest winter storm warning areas that I remember seeing, and it's going to set records for cold and ice and things like that here in the deep south over the next few days. But in the hot pink, you've got winter storm warnings. We started out the day, for instance, here in the south or the southern parts of Mississippi, from the central part down to just above Hattiesburg, in a winter storm watch and advisory. But that has been changed now. It is 5:22 p.m. Central Time. That would be 6:22 on the East Coast. You also have winter storm warnings up into West Virginia, Washington, D.C. There's ice storm warnings up in that area also. You've got these winter storm warnings. You've got winter weather advisories. You've got hard freeze watches all over the nation tonight. You can kind of pick your area here, and this will give you what you're looking at. Now, because of the winter storm watch that we're under now, winter storm warning, in the hot pink, winter storm warning, they've got a new satellite software. Many of them are using this. AccuWeather, this is the National Weather Service. And guys, it's just not as accurate as the old radar that we used to have. And I've seen it a few times, but I just want to point that out tonight, because there's a lot of us that if you look at the local weather and they're using the new digital satellite computerized versions, and that can kind of predict it a few hours in the future, then they're not picking up the moisture that's coming in across the Mississippi River. And you guys in Louisiana and Arkansas, here in Mississippi and Tennessee, are not seeing it on the normal radar imaging. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, and I want you to keep a heads up throughout the night because of that. Now, if you go up to the top of the page and click on radar, you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, wouldn't you know it, just as I'm going here, even after watching this 20 minutes ago, checking it, notice in the bottom right here it says current radar not available in this red box. So we'll go to another one. But what they're more than likely having, instead of actual radar problems, is computer problems, because it's an animated series of radar imaging that even, again, projects into the future. Let's check out the AccuWeather map. It's more confusing, but you'll get the point. Now, this is what they're showing before I animate it, because it's going to bring in several layers on top of it to where you really can't see. Again, there's a corridor that's been overcast all day from southern Louisiana through central Mississippi, all the way up into the northeast, guys, today. That was overcast, but again, the moisture wasn't there. And that's what it's showing currently here. They're showing just a little bit around the Louisiana-Texas border here. Of course, you've got in the warmer waters of the Gulf, they're showing this moisture, and you can see it turning into ice as you get up above North Carolina into Washington, New York, ice storms. You're going to have a lot of snow and ice over into the northwest also. The blue areas are snow, the green is moisture. That's what we're seeing here. But what they're not showing, and we'll go, I'm going to go ahead and click on this so that we can go to their actual motion computer imaging, and you'll see the problem there. And then we're going to look at some other sources of actual satellite imaging. Now, what I've done is click on this, and right now we're actually going into the future. Anything past 5:27, you see the timestamp here is what's projected. And as it's setting up, but you can see that it's showing the moisture again coming across the Florida Panhandle, starting to come up into Georgia, then going into the northeast, and you see it coming out of the northwest and starting to set up a low pressure system coming across the plains. And we're all going to feel some of this before too long. You can see snow and ice and problems like that along the Great Lakes, but they're not showing any moisture here. And I'm going to pull this up a little closer, guys, because a lot of us here in the southeast, especially in our area, as far south as we are, we don't deal with a lot of ice. And the old radar that we used to get on our local TV stations and things like that would pick all of this up. They're just not doing it. You can see west of Corpus Christi, Texas, it's starting to pick up some moisture here. That's what we'll be dealing with going into Monday. and you see it from ice and freezing rain, but nothing in the Louisiana area, nothing coming into Vicksburg or Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Memphis. And that's a problem to me because this computer software is just not making the grade, guys. You really need to go back to something more accurate. Now, you're looking at our website, bpearthwatch.com. You've got the latest videos here, your water filter, survival food, things like that. You can pre-order the new CD, guys. I think they're a ship now. We're just waiting on a couple more days going into next week. There's some weather problems all across the nation right now. But anyway, guys, come down into these links on the left side. And if you come down about 7 or so, you'll see COD radar. Click there. Now, you have several different choices on what you're looking at. If you look in this area to the left, you can select different bands of radar, and you've got a tremendous amount of choices. But I have lower level water vapor, lower level WV check now. And we're seeing the moisture here coming out of the Gulf that they're showing, but they're not picking up on the computer-generated images. This moisture that is already through Louisiana has, early this morning, there was some ice in Vicksburg, Mississippi, over the river. But that moisture starting to build up, guys. You can see it here going into North Mississippi and crossing the river. You're getting close to Hinds County in that area. Also, you can tell more about the system that's winding up right here. And what is it doing? Notice coming in here across the very southern edge of the nation that's going to end up being pulled into the U.S. This moisture right here, guys, is going to get us going into Monday. We're going to have to pay very close attention to that because they were talking about up to an inch of ice here. That's a lot for us. It's a lot anywhere because they only had a 1/4 inch of ice in Dallas the other day with that big pileup early in the morning. But the major problem is going to be, and that's what they're saying also, is ice on limbs and power lines, taking the power out. But you can see, again, where your moisture's building up. You can see why you're going to have the ice and problems in the Northeast. I want to change this view just a moment. And what I did, I went from continental sectors to regional sectors, and you can go to sub-regional sectors. You've seen this software many times as we track the hurricanes, but you can see along the Mississippi River coming through south central Louisiana now, the moisture starting to build up and it's getting thicker. Now the yellow area is drier air. Even though it's overcast and it's been overcast all day, that is drier air. But the computer generated radars, I don't like them, and especially in these situations, because if you go to a lot of your, say a year ago, you were trying to get some good radar in them for whatever you were watching, tornadoes, thunderstorms, whatever, hurricanes. Even locally, you had an actual radar, not a computer-generated model. And I think it's, again, important tonight to know that this moisture is building up. Even though it's not showing at all on those other models, it is here, and I'll show you a couple of other radar images. Now, all I've done here is switch from the low-level water vapor to this, what's called dirty long-range infrared, okay? And that is showing you, again, the moisture in the Gulf moving up into the Northeast. But for you guys in Louisiana and into Texas, you're probably already getting some freezing rain. Let us know in the comments because, again, I've searched throughout the afternoon on the normal or the computer-dated radar imaging systems. And again, computer-generated systems, and it's just not showing, and it's deceiving in a way. It's not their fault, but this moisture is going to turn out to be very important later tonight and going into tomorrow, because we're really not scheduled for much moisture until later Sunday evening or into Sunday night, and I don't think it's going to wait that long. Now I've switched to day cloud phase. We use this a lot during hurricane season. All throughout last year and the year before, you saw these storms spinning up under this particular radar, or satellite imaging, excuse me. But you can see the moisture here. even on the day cloud phase as it's starting to get dark. Now, I want to go back to the National Weather Service office in Jackson, Mississippi. Go, and I suggest anyone in these areas that you're looking for information about what situation you're in as far as ice and snow and rain, go there and use everything but their radar at the top, because it's really not showing everything. But what it is showing that from the Jackson, Mississippi area south all the way down into Covington County and going into Louisiana, approaching Hattiesburg, there's a significant threat Sunday night through Monday night. You see this? We're in the red. This was early. It was a watch. Now it is a warning. You got elevated threats and limited threats down into the actual Hattiesburg area, and you're only 60 miles from the warmer waters of the Gulf of Mexico at that point. But again, this is saying Sunday night through Monday night, and I want you to make sure that you're prepared for it coming in just a little bit early. You see the moisture just like I do. But guys, check your areas and go to our website. If you're not sure, if you're getting one of these generated radars that drive me crazy because I enjoy the accuracy, but go over there and check out what's actually going on in your area. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.